guys, welcome everybody. We're starting this right now. Welcome to the Sunday Sauce. And for people that are going to be watching the replay, I welcome you guys to the replay session as well. Guys, so we have some people that are already joining us. Mr. Desmond, thank you for being here. So let us do a bit of housekeeping while we wait for people to join us. As usual, I like to get to know everybody that's joining. So let me know where you're connecting from. Just type in your name this time. Type in your name. What are you doing currently? What do you do to make money? And what part of the world are you connecting from? So type your name. If you're an engineer, post you're an engineer. So let's have a feel of what you do. So post that in the chat section right now while we wait for people to join us. So we'll be starting this session in about 5 minutes. So the next 5 minutes, let's just get to know each other and then wait for people to come. All right. So drop your name, your occupation, what you do, and the part of the world that you are joining us from. Okay. I see Mr. Desmond already made a post before that. All right. So Favor at Day. Okay, so put in your name, all right? So you're meant to put in what you are doing currently and the part of the world that you're connecting from. Prince Uche, good evening, my brother. How are you doing? All right. So we'll start in the next 3 minutes. Next 3 minutes. All right. Good. So let's just be sure that we are good to go. So we have more people that are joining us right now. I've sent out a bit of a broadcast to remind people. Favor, what do you do? Prince Uche, what do you do? Mr. Desmond, what do you do? And other people on the call as well. All right, so post it on the chat box while we get to business. All right. Okay, so welcome guys. Welcome guys. If you are joining us for the first time, what we do every Sunday is a community call where we analyze the market, right? We analyze the Forex market, we analyze the cryptocurrency market, and what is the goal of this analysis? It is to spot very, very important zones in the market where we are expecting price to react, right? So if you're looking to buy or sell a particular instrument or crypto pair in a particular week, right? So the goal of this session is to highlight the most likely zones that we should expect a reaction, right? So regardless of what you are trading, your trading system, okay, every trading system aligns with supply and demand, right? And then that's what this video is about, to spot very, very strong points of interest in the market where you can start looking for entries, right? Favor said he's a student currently in North Cyprus, right? Mr. Prince Uche said he owns a business and is trading Forex part-time. All right, so let me ask another question, right? If you are connected to this this call right now, give me a review of your last trading week, right? So how was your last trading week? Did you make money last week or did you lose money last week? What did you learn last week from your experience? Did you make a mistake that you learned from, or was last week very, very profitable for you, all right, or not profitable? Okay, so just share something that's with your trading week last week if you actually traded, right? So it will also be good for me to know the answers to these questions so that we'll know how effective these weekly meetings have been. Okay. Mr. Desmond Eber said, I lost. Thank you so much for the honesty there. All right. Did you figure out exactly why you lost money? All right. Why did you lose money? Did you learn from your mistakes? Good. So Desmond said, but I learned something. Good. It's very, very important, right? Whether you are you're an expert trader, everybody loses trades. I still lose trades. All right. My mentors still lose trades. Everybody at a point in time, you will lose trades. But the good part of it is that if you have a good trading system, a good trading strategy, you will win more trades than you lose, right? So that's the essence of forex trading. There's no 100% strategy. All right, Rashid, welcome. Hawk Pips, good evening, my brother. How you doing? All right, so I think we've done enough housekeeping. So let's go straight into. Oh, Prince Uche said I actually lost. It's fine. All right. Losing is a part of forex trading. Okay. Just like making a loss is a part of business. All right. So when you make a loss, the best thing to do is now to reevaluate the whole thing, right? Know where you went wrong and how you can make things be better, right? Favor said, I blew an account because I wasn't mindful of lot sizes and I learned a lot from that experience. Fantastic. So next time when you're about placing trade, you will now be very, very careful as you know the lot size that you should use using the right risk. You know that now lessons when you lose and then you learn from those losses, it will actually make you a better trader, right? So it is your perspective to use an account that really matters. All right. So awesome. So whenever you lose, ensure that you don't get discouraged, guys. I tell you for a fact, there's a lot of money that can be made in the foreign exchange market. Once you get to a point that you can really master this thing and become confident, right? You find out that you are making money consistently, no matter how little. You know for a fact that you have the skill set required to make money in the foreign exchange market. All right, good. So let me go straight into. Uh, Let me share my screen real quick, guys. Give me a second. So let's go straight into the chart and let's look at some pairs before some pairs, right? So I'm sharing my screen now. If you can see my trading view screen, just give me a yes in the chat box. I'm still getting used to this new app. So just give me a yes in the chat box if you can see my screen. All right, in a second. I hope I'm not covering this. Um, okay, so I think I'm good now, right? All right, this one is saying let's analyze UJ, Euro USD, and USD CAD. All right, so let's go straight into the charts. Let's analyze all of that. So also post the pairs that you want me to analyze for you guys, the pairs that you are looking at for the week, just to have some form of a confirmation on your side, and then to ensure that you are making the right trading decisions and then you are trading in the right direction. Actually, it's very, very important. Okay. Hi, Henley Pandy, how you doing? All right, good. So let me remove that. So post your currency pairs in the chat box and let's analyze. All right. So let's start with USD card. So as always, I like to start to get a higher time frame perspective in the market. Now, USD card, as you can see, is in a monthly uptrend. When you go to the weekly, right, price has also been in an uptrend on the weekly. There is great bullish momentum on the weekly, and that's because of the strength of the US dollar, right? The dollar is very, very strong. Last week, we took a look at the DXY, which is the dollar index, and then we were able to figure out that the US dollar is also in an uptrend, and price is actually approaching, I think, a weekly or a monthly supply on the US dollar index. So very, very soon, we should experience some form of little weakness on the US dollar, right? And that might happen in, let's say 2 to 3 weeks from now, or maybe sometime approaching the new year, December. we should start seeing weakness in the US dollar. That's based on supply and demand, by the way. All right. So now going to the daily chart, what is USD card telling us? In the daily, what do we see? All right. We are seeing price still trying to create new highs on the daily. All right. So we are having some form of equal highs over here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart and find a suitable market structure. Now, let us draw out the trend here on the 4 hours. As you can see, price is in a definite uptrend. So let's mark that out. You can see what price has been doing. All right, so price did this. You have your impulse, you have your correction. Then you have this impulsive move here. Currently at par with the previous structure. All right, so how do I know that price will continue in this uptrend? I want to see a break and close here. So I want to see this candlestick. I want to see the body of a candle break above the zone, and then the body of the candle should close above. So right now it's just still a week, right? I'm not convinced yet that price would continue on the uptrend. So if price should close above this, now this on the 4-hour chart, that means we can see a possible trade setup in this coming week. So we might see price break above this zone. So once price breaks above this zone, based on expectational order flow, what are we expecting price to do? We're expecting price to retrace into a demand, right? This is a most recent demand here. Okay, as a matter of fact, there's a cluster of demand here actually. So if price should retrace into this zone, right, we are most likely going to see a continuation, right, of that uptrend, and then price will now use that to create new highs, right? So right now, we're not seeing any setup yet. Another setup that we can see possibly when price has broken above this break of structure, because we're expecting price to retrace into the zone, that means we can enter a counter trend. We can also look for a counter trend move over here. So for that to happen, you have to go to a lower time frame, like your 30 minutes or like a 15 minutes, and look for a possible counter trend entries. All right. So like I always tell you, it is a lot riskier to trade counter trend. So you have to be very, very sure about what you're doing when it comes to counter trend moves. All right. So Mr. Desmond, so what I'll do is I'm not going to set an alert here. Okay, so that during the week when price retraces into the zone, I will be notified, and then once price comes into the zone, I'll start looking for a possibility to enter for a buy. All right, is that clear to Desmond? All right, so let's look at. Oh, you even said USD JPY. So let's look at USD JPY real quick. So that's USD card right there. USD JPY. So let me remove all of this. I'm actually waiting for something to happen on UJ as well. So let me erase everything. So I'm expecting a counter trend move on UJ. Give me a second. Let me delete all of this. So UJ, let's go to the monthly chart and have. So as you can see, UJ is also very, very bullish on monthly. And this is props to the strength of the US dollar, like we are aware. So that means we are looking for a buy to continue the uptrend. Now, when you go to the weekly, we are seeing the same thing on the weekly. You can see price is creating new highs on the weekly. Now, when you go to the daily, we are looking for a possible entry. Okay, so ideally we should look for what? A buy, right? So let's see if we will see a buy. So this is a daily. All right, we are still seeing this structure. All right, you have this move here, and then you have this lower move here. Now this is what is going on the daily chart. You can see on this higher structure here. Let me make it bigger. Price, the body of the candle has not closed above this zone yet. All right. So because that is what really validates a demand zone for me is a break of structure. And then for a break of structure, I'm expecting price to the body of the candle to break this higher high here to create a new high. All right. So you can see price actually wicked it, but I wouldn't consider this weak as a break of structure to continue the what's it called, the uptrend. Some people might consider it, but I like to be I'm very careful about it. Now, this taking this as a break of structure is quite aggressive, and then it will get you into a lot more fake out. All right, so it's best to wait for break of structure to happen. Right, so it has not happened yet on the daily. So let's go to the 4-hour chart and see what the further is saying on the 4 hours. All right, so on the 4 hours, what do you see on the 4 hours? All right, so let me make this bigger, and then I'll draw the structure for us to see. All right, on the 4 hours, what do we see here? Now, check it out. Let me delete this. On the 4 hours, I'm seeing a possible counter trend that's already in play. Now, check it out. You have an impulse move. You have this right here, and then you have this right here. Now, so far so good. On the 4 hours, price also are still price hasn't broken. The body of this candle did not close above this high. All right, but check this out. We have this low here. We have this extreme low here. All right, and then price has clearly violated this low. The body of this candle broke beneath the zone. All right, so for me, that's an indication of a possible change in direction. So this indication for me is to start looking for a counter trend move. So the move that now happened was like this. So price came here, this is not a high for me. So you can see price broke beneath the zone, okay, violating this area structure. And based on order flow that we expect to see a change in trend or a change direction, once you see a break like this, usually you want to see a retracement into a supply zone, and that supply zone is what will break this guy right here. All right, so let me remove this. It's been a mess. All right, so which zone here are we expecting a reaction from? Now, a supply zone, this right here on the 4 hours is a supply zone, right? The last move up. As you can see, price has been in a supply zone, and then there's some form of consolidation going on. Okay, price is in an equilibrium. All right, price is also at the middle of this supply zone. And then what can we see that price is creating? Price is creating some form of liquidity here, equal highs over here. Now, this liquidity that price is creating needs to be taken out before we see a move to the downside. So what I'm expecting in this coming week is for price to what? I need price to come up and take liquidity at the top here, all right, before going all the way down. All right, so I wouldn't enter for a sell yet. I'll wait for the liquidity to be grabbed. So I think that's what is going to happen. If you are in the premium mentorship, you will understand the concept of refined supply and demand. So when you go to the 15-minute chart, you find some form of refined supply here. So price, I believe that still has a long way to go. Price will still possibly come up into the zone, right? Before, so price pushing into the zone it has taken out liquidity, which is enough volume needed to push price in the opposite direction. All right. So for UJ, this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this liquidity here to be grabbed. Okay, this is liquidity because people's stop loss orders are here, people's pending orders are here. All right, so we have some buy stops here and sell and stop loss orders here. So I expect to sell when price comes a bit up. So I believe that this is going to happen maybe on a Tuesday, because when you study the market, you understand that the real moves of the market start from majorly the midweek, maybe Wednesday, sometimes on Tuesday. So the real move is this move up. So we might see price go up, and then on Tuesday slash Wednesday, okay, the setup will form that will push price in the opposite direction. All right. But again, this is just an analysis based on order flow. Price might surprise us and go the opposite direction. Okay, so that's why you don't want to risk all of your accounts on one trade setup. All right. So nothing yet for me on USJPY, but I would recommend that you align with this my analysis, because this pair has been on my watch list for about 2 weeks now, and I'm expecting a huge drop here. All right, because on the daily, price failed to break this structure on the daily. On the 4 hour as well, the same thing. It's just creating wicks. All right, and that's liquidity. All right, so let's check out USD JPY next. I mean, yes, Euro USD. All right, so let me remove all of this. Good. So let's go to the monthly. You understand that the dollar is very, very strong. You can see price is in a downtrend. So it makes sense to look for sales on Euro USD. Let's go to the weekly charts. The same thing. You will see price is in a downtrend. All right. Price in a downtrend on weekly, daily as well. Price is in a downtrend on the daily. All right. So when you look at the structure on the daily, we can see something clear. You can see the moves here. All right. So I would expect price to do this. So this is your break of structure over here, somewhere here. So what I expect price to do is price to react in this zone. Let me take at least price should react. Good. So this is a zone here that when I say price to react at this week here. So somewhere here, you might see price react, or we look at this zone here. Okay, because this is also some form of, this is a flip zone over here that we might see price react in. So this coming week here, based on daily, okay, let me go to the 4 hours. Maybe that will be clearer for you guys on the 4 hour chart. All right. So on the 4 hour chart, I think it's a bit clear on the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, this is now the structure on the 4 hours. All right. So that fifth zone will be clearer to you guys. So you have this, you have this, you have this. All right, and then you have this. All right, so yes, this is all of this zone right here on the 4 hours is a supply zone. All right, but I'll still expect price to come all the way up. So somewhere around the middle here, okay, when you check out a refined level, maybe somewhere above here, I also need price to take out this liquidity. So this is a liquidity here. So I see price taking out liquidity. So somewhere in this zone, all right, is where you're going to expect price to react. So this coming week, we should also expect some drops on the 4 hours. And then you can see To also confirm the drop, you can see liquidity to be grabbed here. So if this move happens here, it's enough. It's going to target liquidity. So if this happens, you can see this liquidity to be targeted here. All right, because people are putting their buy orders here, stop loss here. So price will come down and grab liquidity here. So I see price reacting in this zone. So for Euro USD, right, you want to expect, so this is a good POI for you. All right, but wait for price to take liquidity here first. All right, so once price comes up and breaks this zone, all right, look for entries to downside because the dollar is still very, very strong, right? So if you are selling the euro dollar or the Aussie dollar or NZD dollar, right, you are on the right side of the market. Okay, exactly. All right. So let's do. So I think I've answered that. Someone is asking for you. So gold, right? So let's do gold. Let's do gold. All right. So let's go to the monthly chart on gold. Right. We have been looking at gold for a while, and then if you've been following our analysis, I think you are doing the right thing because we predicted that gold was going to take liquidity. This liquidity. We have been saying this in the last almost a month now to look for sells on gold. All right, and then price has been respecting that. So gold, based on the monthly structure, what are we saying? Price is creating new highs, but check this out. Price came here. Okay, it came all the way down here. It came up here, but this move up here, this up move, it did not break this high here. So that means there's some form of vested interest here. So what price did was to now come all the way down to break this zone, and then price already, let me make this bigger. Okay, and then price already closed up below this higher low. All right, so what we might expect in the coming weeks is a retracement, a possible retracement, because when you look at this zone, this is also a monthly demand over here. Okay, so this demand over here, this is the origin. This one might be the one to inform the retracement. So if this demand zone should hold, where do we think price will retrace into? Price will have to retrace into a supply zone, because now looking at all of this, right, this is a counter trend setup, because on the monthly chart we are seeing structure that has been broken. So what this means that possibly price wants to switch from the uptrend to a possible downtrend, and before that happens we have to see a retracement. All right, so we have to see a retracement into somewhere here. Okay, into a supply zone, and then price moves all the way down. All right, so where do we think price is going to retrace into? Okay, so let me clear this up and let's highlight a possible zone, possible supply zone. So the first one that I'm seeing right off the bat is this extreme swing supply here. Okay, let me try and get the equilibrium based on where price is right now. All right, so we also experience retracement here. You can see this sell to buy week here, so maybe somewhere around here. Good. So the next few weeks we might experience, or few months, we might experience an upward momentum. Check this out. So price can do this and then come all the way down, or price can do this to the zone and go all the way down. So that means we are also anticipating some form of bullish pressure real soon. All right, but all of this is on the monthly. Okay, it's a long way to go. So let's find something that is close by, like on the daily on the 4 hours, right? So let me remove all of this. So, but that monthly will just give you a bigger perspective, a bigger picture. So you know exactly what price wants to do on the grand scheme of things. So when you go to the weekly chart, check out the weekly chart here, all right? So price is doing this on the weekly, also the downtrend. Okay, this. All right. So what are we expecting? We're expecting price to retrace possibly into the zone. All right. So we might see. Let me see if this is in the equilibrium real quick. Fantastic. So this coming week, based on the weekly, what we might see is we might see price retrace into the supply over here. And then when this happens, we'll see a continuation of that downtrend. Remember that on the monthly, we have just seen price break this higher low here. So we might see a continuation to the downside. So that continuation to the downside might be made possible because of this supply zone here. So this week or next week, between this week and next week, we might see price go all the way up into the supply zone. And then when that happens, we see price push all the way down. All right. So let's go to the daily chart and see what we're talking about. All right. Good. So this is the daily chart. Let me make the oops. Let's make this bigger on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, what am I saying on the daily chart over here? Right. So the same thing that I've seen on the weekly price is in a downtrend. All right. So I would expect price to grab this leak because of what we are seeing on the weekly. Now, daily is giving us this. So this is liquidity right here. This zone right here is, let me mark it out. Now, this is liquidity right here on the daily, okay, that possibly needs to be grabbed. Okay, so if we see this and price goes up into the zone, possibly when we refine it, okay, we'll see price react here. So price possibly needs to grab this liquidity. Hold on. Price will go up, and then when price comes here, you look for sells to the downside. I hope that's clear, guys. So on gold, what I would do on gold is to wait for price to retrace into this swing supply here before looking for sells. Also, because we know that possibly price will go up into the supply zone, can we look for a buy setup, okay, into the zone? Possibly or not. All right, so let's check out the lower time frame like the 4 hours. So on the 4 hours, what can we see on the 4 hours? On the 4 hours, you can see we're already seeing a change of trend on the 4 hours. Now check it out what's going on the 4 hours. You can see price reacting here. You have your impulse correction. You have this. You have this. You have this. Now you can see price breaking this level of structure. Price breaking this level of structure. All right, good. So what I think is going to happen once when we've seen this break over here, I think price is going to come to this extreme here. Okay, making this, taking liquidity here, taking liquidity here, and liquidity, some liquidity here as well. So price will come down into the zone. Once price comes down into the zone, it will be an opportunity to buy the market into this supply here. And then when price gets here as well, you want to look for sells back down to break, to create a lower low. All right. So because this is a 4 hours, if price will enter this zone on the 4 hours, this definitely can happen within a few days because, of course, this is gold. Price moves very, very fast on gold when it wants to move. So if price should do this, you can look for buy setups into the zone, and then you play it back to form a lower low. All right, so that's what I'll do on gold. That's for Favor and who was on gold again? Favor and Ezekiel Ebenezer. All right, so let's do USD CHF. That's a question asked by Prince Uche. So USD CHF, let's go to the monthly chart real quick. So what do we have on the monthly chart here? Let me delete all of this. Give me a second, guys. All right, on the monthly, what are we seeing on UCHF? Okay, we can see the strength of the dollar. Not really clear, but let me go to the weekly and see what's going on the weekly. On the weekly, we can see what's going on right here on the weekly. Let me mark out the structure with the arrow. You can see impulse, correction, and then impulse. So this is an uptrend right here. Okay. So price is an uptrend. This is your breakout structure somewhere here. All right. So a good place to look for buy setups will be somewhere here. All right. And then you can see price already came into this zone. There's a bit of tap here. All right. And then this move is reacting from this weekly demand. Okay. So price took pretty much all of this pivot demand, and then price started working from there. All right. So we know that the demand is in control. So possibly this demand that's in control might possibly create a new higher high. So possibly this move that is going up now wants to create a new high. And of course, another bias is that I'm seeing liquidity on UCHF over here. We have these equal highs here. All right. So this is liquidity that can be grabbed. So once price goes up, grabs liquidity. Okay, so that'll be enough to now form another retracement into a demand zone for the trend continuation. But we don't know yet. So that's what we weekly studying on. So now that we know that the demand is in control from the weekly, if the demand is in control, that means the buyers are more active. So it's best that we look for buy opportunities on the currency. So let's go to the daily chart, and then on daily, I'm looking for a buy setup on daily because weekly has given me some form of perspective as what price is doing. Now check this out. On weekly, I'm seeing something like this. All right. On daily, rather, I'm seeing this. All right. So I like to buy from a discount. All right. So I would expect price to come here, somewhere here. Okay. Or if you are saying, because this will be a cluster liquidity, so price needs to possibly come into this zone. I expect price to come into this zone. Okay. So for USDCHF, I expect price to come into the zone before I look for buys. All right. But if price will come into this zone as well, on the lower time frame, we might see some sort of a counter trend move. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, let's see an opportunity to sell the market into this demand zone. So I hope I'm not confusing you with analysis, but on the 4 hours, it's clear as what price is doing. You can see this move here as price is going impulse, correction, impulse, correction, right? That's an impulse, correction, impulse, right? And then what do we see over here? Price has broken this guy here. All right. And then what do we see? We see the body of, let me make it bigger. The body of the candle has closed beneath the zone. So that's a violation of this structure here, and that is informing us that there's a possible change of direction incoming. So when that happens, a lot of times we will see a what's it called? We will see a retracement into a valid supply zone. All right. So this is a supply zone that we're waiting for price to get to. So you can see this move here. So for UCHF, we're expecting price to possibly come into the zone. Once price comes into the zone and then you see a very solid setup, it will have the momentum to possibly break the zone and create, actually get into your weekly demand over here, because these are weekly demand. So that's the essence of starting your analysis from the higher time frame, because higher time frame gives you the big picture, and then you're able to predict, not predict really, just follow the order flow and know exactly where price should get to based on expectation. All right. So I would expect price to come into this zone. All right. Before we look for entries. All right. So let's see the. All right. So solid. So anywhere here exactly, price can start giving us good setups. All right. So how many pips into the supply? So just 64 pips. Okay. So that's very, very doable. It took how many days for this to happen? So price moved on Friday alone. Price moved. Price moved 132 pips on Friday alone on this pair. So that means for price to get to this zone, for price to move from here to here, it might just take us like a day or 2 days max. So once price gets here, it's a good time to look for sales. Or we might get surprised and then price will just with a strong force break the zone, and then we'll know what to do next. All right. So nothing for me on UCHF until I see this happen. Then I'll look for possible sell, possible sell setup. All right. So the next question is from Favor Adedeji. We should look at Euro card. So let's check out Euro card real quick. The Euro and Canadian dollars. Euro card. Euro card. All right, so let's go to the monthly to have a perspective of the larger perspective. So you can see price is in a downtrend, and we are seeing liquidity being grabbed here. So this is liquidity. You can see this trend line liquidity. Okay, so price is currently grabbing this liquidity here. So and then we are expecting a possible retracement now into a supply zone. All right. So that's just what I'm seeing on the monthly now. So price is in a general downtrend. Okay, so we're expecting a possible retracement. So let's go to the weekly chart to have a clearer perspective of what price is doing. Okay, so on the weekly, what do we have here? We have, look at price moving. We have impulse, correction, impulse, correction. We can say this strong impulse, correction, impulse. All right. This, okay, that already happened. So we have this. So, oh, so sorry. So we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, and then we have this. Now, on a lower time frame, the change of character would have been a lot clearer. I can see a trend shift already happen here. This week is price tapping into another block, and that's what informed this high move, this blue structure here. So we're expecting a retracement into a supply. So where should we expect price to react? Check this out. This is the next zone, possibly. All right. This is a block of demand. of supply here rather. All right, so anywhere from here, okay, we should expect possible reaction, or because there is a huge cluster here, okay, and that cluster, check this out, is also some form of liquidity over here. So this strong move here can actually go all the way up, okay, grab liquidity before continuing to the downside. So on Eurocard, I'll be very, very careful. Okay, of course, this is even the weekly chart. So it's good to go to daily charts 4 hours to get a better perspective or picture of what price wants to do. So let me go to daily charts and get something. All right, good. So what am I saying on the daily? So you can see on the daily, you can see the trend change properly. All right, you can see the move that I was talking about, price breaking this zone and then retracing into a demand zone. So that's what is influencing this. And then what we might expect price is, let's look at this extreme supply here. So what we might expect in the coming days is, now this is a supply zone on the daily, okay, and on the daily as well we are seeing this little bit of trend here. So once price gets into this zone, okay, based on order flow, we are expecting a retracement. Price cannot just keep going up for life, so possibly we might see a retracement into this block of demand here. And what will initiate a retracement has to be a supply zone, and a price is in a supply here. So possibly we might see a reaction this coming week that will push price into this demand zone over here. So this zone this week will be a good zone to look for sell opportunities. I'm sure there will be a reaction here this week. All right, so favor that we'll look out for. So just go to your lower time frame and look for entry setups. Is that clear, guys? All right, so next question is from Papilo, that's GBP. So let me just be posting the question. So we are doing GBP now. All right, so let's go back into the chart. So let's check out GBP. So what is G telling us? So let me delete all of this. So I'm also waiting for this guy. Oops. All right. So monthly price is in a strong downtrend, and that's because of the strength of the dollar, right? So on the weekly, what do we see? So we're expecting a retracement. You can see. So on the daily, it might be clear on the daily. So let me quickly draw the structure on daily. You can see the downtrend in play. You have this, right? You have this, you have this. Okay. So now what we should expect is a move into a supply zone. Right. So this is your break of structure here. So we can see a flip zone here. So this is a zone where you expect reaction. This zone or this extreme right here. So this coming week on GBP we might see price actually we might see the dollar weaken a bit, which will make price come. So price will come here and then retrace, or price would come here and retrace. So that will be my 2 points of interest for the GBP. And that's based on the daily charts. When you go to the 4-hour chart, it will be a lot clearer on the 4 hours. All right, so that makes sense because this should not be a liquidity that needs to be taken. Okay, for this to happen. Likewise, if this will happen, this will be a liquidity. You can see this trend line over here. All right, so we don't know what price will do yet, but I would expect price to come into the zone and then we sell, or price comes into the zone and then we sell. Okay, Papilo, is that clear? So Hawk Pips is saying we should do Nasdaq. So let's do Nasdaq together. Let's go ahead and chart. So let's do NAS. Okay, NAS 100. Okay, so this is NAS. So let's go to the monthly chart on NAS. All right. So we can see NAS is in a downtrend based on the monthly perspective. To be clear, let's go to the weekly chart and to be a lot clearer for you. It's in a downtrend, as you can see. Price was trending up, and then suddenly, what did we see? We saw price do this. All right, so price broke the structure, retracement, this. All right, so it's in a downtrend, and so it's safe to look for sells. And then you can see a lower low that's been created. Okay, price breaking below the zone. Now this is on weekly. So let's go to daily chart. So we're already clear as to the market structure. Price is trending downwards. So based on daily now, what should we expect price to do? All right, so we should expect price to retrace somewhere into the zone. Now it will be clearer. It will be clear until we go to the 4-hour chart. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. Good. So on the 4 hours, we see this move happen. So let me delete all of this. On the 4 hours, we are seeing this. We have this impulse correction. Okay, this is a global liquidity. All right. So let me just use this one time. We have impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. All right. So on the 4 hours, we are seeing this happen. All right. So price already created a lower low over here. So next thing that we should expect is to expect a retracement into a supply zone. So the supply zone that I expect price to enter to get to will be this zone right here. So this coming week, I will expect price to retrace into the zone. If price at this zone, I'll look for sales. All right, so that's what I'll do. But we might not just see a retracement like that. We might see a continuation. This move might just continue. Oops, to the downside, and then later on we cannot see a possible retracement. Who knows? But I expect price to get to, based off of what price is doing now, I expect price to retrace into this supply, and then I look for sell opportunities. All right. Good. So someone's asking a question. Let me go back to Mr. Desmond is asking a question. Can I take trades on a daily chart? That would depend on how often you see a setup, and of course the time frame that you are trading on. If you are someone that is a scalper, it's very, very possible for you to see trades on a daily basis, right? If you are scalping, for example, it's very possible for you to see trades on a daily basis. If you are scalping, so that means you are looking for entries on the on the 1 minute chart or on the 2 minute chart. Okay, so that depends on you. But don't strive to look for trades on a daily basis because that will put you under undue pressure. Like I always tell you, you don't need a lot of trades to hit your targets on a monthly basis, right? It's not in the number of trades that you take, it is in the risk to reward of each trade that you take. One trade or two trades in a month might be all you need, okay, to hit your target. Now, most of us, we are trading Forex as a means to experience some form of freedom, right? But most people as well have turned Forex to their day job. Okay. When you see how some people trade Forex, they are on the chart from morning to night. What's the essence? Why not just go and work? All right. So if Forex is a means to give you time freedom and any kind of freedom that you want, you don't want to be on the chart at every point in time. Okay. You should have a life outside Forex trading. Okay. Honestly, everyone that I know that is trading Forex and making cool living from it, Forex should not be your sole source of income. Okay, so you can make money from Forex, but do something else with your money from Forex. Okay, have another income stream from Forex. Okay, because that will help you balance your expectation and also help you balance your risk. All right, is that clear, Mr. Desmond? So, any more questions, guys, before we call it a night? So, we have been here for 1 hour. I hope you are getting value so far. If you love the analysis that was made, type in 777 in the chat box. Let me put my my marketing copy here. All right. So, if you loved what we've done so far, if you have gotten value so far, type in 777 in the chat box. Okay, so let me get some feedback from everybody here. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of setups aligning for this coming week. So this coming week will be a lot of trade setups aligning. Last week I didn't trade last week at all because the pairs that I was expecting I was expecting price to get to some particular POI on some pairs. Nothing happened for me last week, so it's fine. So there are times that based on your system, your way of trading, you might not see setups in a particular day or in a particular week. It's fine not to trade in a week. Damn, like it's fine not to trade in a month, right? So it's fine, honestly, it's fine. Yep. So any more questions, guys, before we call it a night? Yep. Favorite, I see you. All Pips, I see you. Mr. Toby Williams, I see you. All right. Any more questions, guys, before we call it a night? All right. And then, of course, if you want access to mentorship, there's something scrolling below your screen right now. Okay, so this is an opportunity for you to get access to premium content and also a chance to have me work with you personally to take your trading game to the next level. All right, so invest in education, invest in knowledge. All right, because how will you know that you will make money? Okay, so you have to invest in knowledge because it is what you know that will translate into what is in your pocket. All right, so if you're not making so much money right now, that means you have to work on knowledge. Okay, know more so that you make more money. Okay, so let's check out the last pair for tonight. Papillus, you should check out Gbp Jpy. All right, Gbp Jpy. So let's share the screen. Gbp Jpy. So let's go to DJ real quick. Gbp Jpy. All right. So let me quickly address this. So I'm seeing a question now. So this one is saying, let me put it on the screen. Guys, check this out. My brother said, I flipped an account of $10 to $70, but later lost everything because of over leveraging. I feel your pain. But now, this is what I would advise. It is good to flip accounts, but when you flipped an account and maybe you made, let's say, 100% profit, try and withdraw something. Even if it's 5%, withdraw something. Okay, so because you cannot always win all of your trades, right? Now, you made, this is like 700% profit. 700% profit is amazing. Okay, how come you not withdraw something? At least taste withdrawals. All right. Maybe next week or tonight, let me just quickly show you how to compound. If you want to flip account, what is the best way to flip your account? All right. So let me just quickly do that. Mr. Papilo, I think I'll just wrap up with that. GJ will talk about it in the community. So let me share my browser. Let me please show you the best way that I think that anybody should flip account. Give me a second. Let me share my. How do I share my browser on this app? Give me a second, guys. Great. Please give me a second, guys. All right. So there is a platform called Compound Daily. All right. So let's go to Compound Daily. So just go to your Google or your web browser and then search for Compound Daily. So if you want to flip accounts, I think this is the best way to flip accounts and also take into consideration your risk. All right. So that way you can manage your risk properly. So you go to compounddaily.org. Okay. /cap. So I'll just put this in the chat box. Give me a second. How do I put this in the chat box? All right. All right. So that's a link. Give me a second while this loads up. Now I think there's a lag on my because of this. So I shouldn't have come to this screen. So give me a second, guys. I'm trying to bring up the link for you guys to see everything. Can you guys see the link? All right, so let me just go ahead, guys. Now, this is the website you need to go to. It's called compounddaily.org/calculator. So when you come to this website, it will give you access to something called a compound daily interest calculator. All right. So when you scroll down, it will ask you for some questions. Right now, the first thing is your initial purchase amount. Now, this will now be the amount that you want to flip. So, how much is in your trading account? So, let's say you are trading with $30, for example. Okay, and then daily interest rate in percentage talks about your reward per trade. Okay, now, like I always tell you, Before you enter any trade, you should know your risk to reward. You should have a game plan on every trade. Don't enter a trade that you don't know where you want to exit. It's very, very risky. So your daily interest rate in percentage. So let's say you are now risking because you want to flip your account now. Know your risk. Are you risking 5% per trade, or are you risking 10% per trade, or more? Depends on you. But I would advise, if you are flipping accounts, so that your account would have better longevity, risk a maximum of 15% per trade. So what that means is that for you to blow that account, maybe possibly you need to lose only lose maybe 4 trades, or is it 4 trades? Maybe like 6 trades. So if you are risking 15% per account on an account that per trade rather on an account that you want to flip, for you to blow that account, you must lose 6 trades consecutively before you blow that account. So now this based on your risk now. So if your risk is 15%, so now we're talking about the reward. So what is your reward? So are you risking 1 to make 3, or risking 1 to make 5? It depends on you. But I tell people the minimum risk to reward that you want to have as a trader based on your strategy is 1 to 3. So if you are risking 15%, your profit projection on that particular trade has to be at least 45% profit. So let's just say you are, on the average, you are risking 10% per trade. So that means on every trade now, you are expecting 30% profit. Okay, so that's 1 to 3. So you are risking 10% to make 30%, right? Good. So now length of time in days talks about the number of trades, that you want to take. So based on your compounding goal, your flipping goal, okay, so let's say you have a goal to take maybe like 15 trades, for example, and then your daily reinvest rate. So if you are making all the profit and then you are taking everything back, you are investing everything, that is 100%. Okay, so include weekends? No, we don't trade on weekends. So calculate now. So if your trading capital is $30, and then as you are flipping, your goal is to make 30% profit per trade, and then you are taking 15 trades. After 15 trades of doing this account flip, your $30, okay, would have transformed, will have grown to $1,500 for just 15 trades. So based on how often you see trades, your own 15 trades can happen in maybe a week, or can happen in maybe 2 weeks or a month. It depends on how frequently you find trade setups. Of course, you must also take into consideration losses. All right, so this might take you longer to attend, or maybe you are having a really good win run. You might be lucky and win all 15 trades. It's very, very possible. I've not been that lucky before to win all my trades, but you might be very lucky to win all your trades. So if you are lucky to win all your trades, this will go exactly according to plan. Okay, so that way you can manage your risk properly, and then you will not over leverage. If you flout the basics of forex trading, you cannot make profit consistently. All right. So when you're flipping an account, don't flip without putting risk into consideration. The best flippers are masters of risk management. So if your risk management is off, you cannot flip an account successfully. At a point in time, you blow the account. So I think that's what you need to work on, Mr. Desmond and Favor. All right. I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope that makes sense. Desmond, did you understand what I'm saying? All right. So let us call it. Let's make a wrap right now because of time. Uh, because of time. So let's stop here. So any more questions, guys, before we go? Any more questions? Any more questions, concerns, addition or subtraction? Okay, so type it in the chat box. So we should end this session in the next, let's say, 2 minutes. Any more questions, guys? All right. So, guys, again, I recommend go to. There's something scrolling below the screen right now. As a matter of fact, let me put the link in the chat box. It's an avenue for you to get mentored. All right. So when you click on the link, you take into a page where you make payment for mentorship, right? So it's just $100 every month for the mentorship, and then that gives you access to a robust training library. It gives you access to a chat room where you can ask questions, where you can get support. Gives you access to me as well. Okay, it's very very important. I recommend that you do that if you are at a point in your trading career now that you still find yourself blowing account over and over again. You need mentorship. All right, you need someone to really look over your shoulders and tell you, don't do this, do this, and then actually be some form of a partner in progress and success. Okay, so that's what the mentorship is about. So check it out. I think it's going to change the game for you, for people that are serious about trading. If you're serious about making money from this, you need to invest money and time into your trading game. All right. So thank you so much for being a part of this session. For people that are here live, thank you. If you are watching the replay right now, thank you for coming on board. And I hope that this was very, very resourceful for you and useful to you. As always, I want to wish us a fantastic trading week. Okay. Only take perfect setups. If you see a setup that you don't really know what's going on, leave it. Okay, go to another pair or wait for a perfect setup, and then you'll be fine. Okay, your strike rate will improve. If you take a trade and then you lose that trade, losing is part of the game. Okay, so don't let that discourage you. Don't revenge trade. Okay, so don't try and wreck the market. You can never, in your wildest imagination, wreck the market. Okay, the market at the end of the day will always win. So do your part. Trade according to your strategy. Trade with the long game, trade with a long-term mindset. And at the end of the day, just like the casino, okay, you will always end up in profit. All right. I wish you guys all the very, very best. Brighton is saying, read my above question. Brighton. Okay, let me look for your question. Brighton, I can't see your question. Your question is not here. Maybe you can type it again, Brighton. So Brighton, I can't see your question, so I'll give you just 10 seconds to write your question, and then we'll be good to go. All right, Desmond, thank you so much. You're the man. Up Pips, you're welcome, bro. Papilo, you're welcome. All right, Brighton, I'm waiting for you. I think I want to end the session right now since you're not typing. All right, guys, let's have a phenomenal week. Feel free to engage in the free Telegram community and be a part of what's going on. Learn and make money. All right. Good night, guys. Cheers.